On a sheer 90-degree cliff, a mountain path was carved out just to build a tiny temple on the summit. You might think the ancients were crazy, but few people realized that constructing this temple was actually 10 times more difficult than building the road itself. What makes this temple so special? When construction first began, it was discovered that the summit, less than 30 square meters in area, had been split into two halves by a natural fissure. To build a temple there, the first challenge was to create a passage connecting the two rock platforms. The gap between the cliff faces was several meters wide. Simply laying wooden planks or stone slabs across it would have been extremely risky, as the span was too large and it could easily collapse. But this was no match for your ingenuity. Taking advantage of the terrain, you built a curved wooden framework and carefully arranged stones over it. Once the stones were in place, the wooden support could be removed. Instead of collapsing, the stones formed a strong arch structure. The greater the pressure from above, the more tightly the arch locked itself together. A bridge deck was then laid on top, successfully joining the two platforms into one. But once the bridge was completed, another problem emerged. The mountaintop rock surface was highly uneven. No matter how carefully the paving stones were laid, they still wobbled from side to side. Building a structure on such a foundation would never be stable. Leveling the entire summit, however, would have required an enormous amount of labor. Again, you found a solution. First, you marked out the outline of the temple walls. Then, you carved grooves directly into the rock and fitted precisely shaped stone blocks into them. Finally, you filled the remaining gaps with gravel and sticky glutinous rice mortar. Half of each stone block sat inside the groove, and half remained exposed, effectively anchoring the wall foundation directly into the mountain itself. With the foundation secured, construction of the walls began, layer by layer. Yet, even then, the walls were difficult to keep standing. The summit was constantly battered by fierce crosswinds. Ordinary bricks were too light, and even glutinous rice mortar could not reliably hold them together against the wind. So, you abandoned regular bricks altogether. Instead, you used irregularly shaped rough stones, fitting them together like pieces of a giant puzzle. Clay was packed into the gaps, creating sturdy masonry walls. The weight of the stones themselves, combined with the way they interlocked, allowed the structure to withstand even the strongest mountain winds. Of course, if the walls were to be strong, the roof had to be equally robust. Rather than ordinary roof tiles, you cast tiles from wrought iron. Each iron tile weighed about 8 kilograms and was hooked onto wooden beams in overlapping layers like fish scales. The tiles were connected with iron fasteners, turning the entire roof into a massive iron shell. The stronger the wind blew, the greater the friction generated by the weight of the tiles, making the roof even more stable. And thus, you completed the famous Red Cloud Golden Summit of Fanjing Mountain. The Golden Summit was first built in 1618. At its peak stand two temples. To the south is the Sakyamuni Hall, dedicated to Shakyamuni Buddha. It symbolizes the present, reminding people to cherish and make the most of the moment. To the north is the Maitreya Hall, dedicated to Maitreya. It represents the future and embodies